Okay, video two to go with this group of videos. I mean, they're all kind of together, right? So it's not really a second video. It's like probably the 10th video by now with lesson 3-4. But this one this is one of the more advanced videos. And what we got here, right? It says to solve quadratic equations, get one side equal to 0, then factor and use the zero product property to solve, right? So now we actually have a situation where we don't have a side that's already at 0. We've got 10x squared plus 25x on one side, and we have 15 on the other. And so what we want to do is we want to get everything over to one side. So we did actually do this when we were graphing, right? So this isn't completely new to us, right? So what we are going to do, besides just randomly draw things all over this thing, is we are going to move this 15 over to this side. Now the reason I'm choosing to move the 15 over here is because we've already got our x squared and our x term over here. It makes a lot more sense to move one thing across the equal sign than it does to move two things the other way over the equal sign, right? So that's what we're going to do. So remember, to move something to the other side, basically you subtract it. And I'm going to just sort of write this randomly right here because I don't have a like term over here to combine this with. So I'm just putting it here because I don't really have any room. And then that's going to give me 10x squared plus 25x. I'm writing this in the standard form, minus 15 equals, and then 15 minus 15 over here cancels it out, equals 0. So now I have this thing written in some shape that I can actually work with, right? And this will work for me. Okay, so now let's do our AC method, right? So our AC method is, where we do the A times C, right? And my A and my C in this case, A is 10, and then my C is this negative 15. And so if you would have gone to it right from here, you would have actually gotten the wrong sign. That's why it's really important to make sure you're doing this correctly. So 10 times negative 15 is negative 150. All right, so I got to come up with a couple factors of negative 150 that are going to add up to 25. Now, the thing to keep in mind is it is a negative product, right? So because it's a negative product, that means that one of my factors is going to be positive and the other one's going to be negative. So then you look at your B and you see that your result is positive. So the larger looking of the two factors should be positive for this one. So let's take a look. Let's think. Obviously, 1 and 150 aren't even close, right? I'm not even going to write those down. 2 and 75 are a little far off. And then we start getting closer if we do like 3 and negative 50, or negative 3 and 50, right? So that will put you at negative 47 and positive 47. So nice, getting closer, but not close enough. All right. So we can't 4 will not go into this. 5 will go into this, and 5 will go into this 30 times. Right, so we have 5 and 30, so we can make negative 5 and 30, and then we have positive 5 and negative 30. So this one adds up to, oh, look at that, 25, and this one adds up to negative 25. So a little bit of screwing around, and we found our numbers, right? And those are right here. We're going to use these because it gives us our positive B, which is what we want. So now let's rewrite this. We have 10x squared. We are going to subtract 5x from it, and then you're going to add 30x, and then subtract 15. And then that whole thing is going to be equal to 0. I'm going to put this in black so it's not confusing, right? Because this is this being decomposed into these two terms, right? Just so we know. All right, let's split this I can pull a factor of 5x out of both of these. All right, so this is going to give me 2x minus 1. Right, 5 times 2 is 10. X times x is x squared. And then 5x times negative 1 gives me negative 5x. And so I know that I'm going to want to try to get 2x minus 1 over here. So in order to do that, we would have to multiply by, I believe, positive 15. So 15 times 2x gives me my 30x, and then 15 times negative 1 gives me negative 15. So that looks pretty good, right? So let's factor out or take out our common factor here. We got one there, we got one there. So we got 2x minus 1. Okay, and then our leftovers. I'm sure there's a mathematician out there just cringing every time I say that, right? So our leftovers are 5x plus 15, right? Now, something to note here is one of the reasons this is so big, and these also have, like, it could be factored down more, is I didn't factor right away. I didn't pull a number out of this, and I could have, and it would have made my numbers a lot smaller, right? But it just goes to show that you can still do it, right? And we'll still get the correct answer. It's just not, it's not as direct. All right, so applying our zero product property, that means that this or this, one of these two, has to be equal to 0, or they're both equal to 0, right? So let's, our two cases are we have 2x minus 1 is equal to 0, or we have 5x plus 15 is equal to 0. So for this one, move our 1 over, right? Go like that. That gives me 2x equals 1. We divide them both by 2, and we get x is equal to 1/2. And then for this side, we're going to subtract 15 from both sides. And that's going to give me 5x is equal to negative 15, and then we will divide it by 5. And we'll get x is equal to negative 3. So my roots for this and my solutions are negative 3 and 1/2. That's how we write it. I like to box it just to make it official so everybody knows what it is. And if you were to graph this on a graphing calculator or in Desmos or something like that, these are the 2 points where it would cross, where this equation would cross the x-axis. All right, so again, hope this is being helpful. We're going to stop the video, and then last video we're going to do an application problem.